Ole'Pops here. I'm at the Stones River National Battlefield here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I'm not real good with this camera yet, but I got a couple of special guests with me today. By the way, I'm smoking the little hand-carved songwriter that very special guest that's with me today carved for me. I'm going to introduce you to these two a little later on today, but they are with me today, and we're going to take a tour of a short tour of the battlefield, and I'm going to tell y'all a little, there's the visitor center back behind me, but I'm going to tell y'all a little bit about the battle, and we're going to look in the visitor center first, and then we're going to, well, anyway, it's going to be a pretty special day. Y'all hang tight. This is the visitor center at the Murfreesboro Stones River National Battlefield. It's a national park dedicated to the Battle of Murfreesboro. The Union called it the Battle of Murfreesboro, which was where it took place at. The Confederacy called it the Battle of Stones River, which was the closest place to the closest landmark. This is the visitor center. Just going to give you a quick scan of what's on the shelves and what's in here. Just a quick scan. Then I'm going to show you a few things that I like. Now, I'm a hiker. Those right there, they attach to a hiking stick. Those are neat. I just think they're neat. That mug, I have that very mug. It's just neat as it can be. Holds a lot of coffee. My wife and I have coffee every morning together, and our pot makes 3 cups of coffee apiece. And when I drink out of that cup right there, I get 1 cup of coffee. When I was a kid, everybody wanted one of those. Every little boy wanted one. Now you could take a drill and drill the little hole in the top of it out and pack it with firecracker gunpowder and stick a BB in it and put a fuse in it, and it would actually shoot a BB. Now don't tell your kids that. And the pin whistles, the spy glasses, the bugles, the kazoos. Those were always of my favorites. And then they had that right there. It was a spy recorder. You spin the wheel and it allowed you to come up with a special language, a decoder language that you send messages with. Every little kid had fun with that when they were kids.
that Thomas biography talked about that some. That Thomas biography said Thomas said that was
I remember when we were kids, they used to bring us here on field trips from school. And this was always one of my favorite. See if it'll work.
At mid-morning, the Confederate 16th Tennessee Infantry, along with Donelson's brigade, moved to attack the Union's position in the Round Forest. Crossing open fields between the Nashville Pike and the railroad, they were pounded by artillery fire from Union batteries placed in the woods. The Union guns of Hazen's brigade rained down sheets of minie balls upon the Tennesseans.
It's really nice.
By the Confederates, failed.
Somebody worked real hard on that one. But we're going to move on and
forced to retreat, leaving more than half their men.
let you see what else is in here, and then we're going to move outside and
After the battle,
let you get a good look. They've got another area back here they don't quite have decorated yet, but just so you'll know, they've got a theater back here where they show a movie.
Now, many of the questions you can answer here in the museum do get in there, but not all, or some of them might quite into the park.
So we're going to move on outside, and I'm going to show y'all actually part of the battlefield. Just as far as the eye can see. All of the people that were casualties in this war were not necessarily buried here. That right there is a monument to the unknown soldiers that were buried here. But the amount of casualties in this war were 24,645. It's just astronomical. When I was a kid in the Boy Scouts, we used to come out here and put flags on all the graves during Veterans Day. It took all weekend. It took all weekend. It was an honor. They served their country well. This is just a piece of the graveyard. This is the main part. We are right here at what's called McFaddens Farm. Right behind us, over there, is the Stones River. And from that direction, on December the 31st, in 1862, the Union Army made their way towards me from across that river, escorted by William Rosecrans. Over there in the distance, you can see the bridge with cars going by. See it? But the river's right over there. Anyway, they were protecting this railroad that runs from Chattanooga to Nashville. Nashville being this direction, Chattanooga being this direction. Here is the remainder of the national battlefield. I'll show you that in a minute. Let me back off just a little bit so you can see it. Now, there is a rock outcropping down here on this end of the battlefield. It's called the Slaughter Pit. The Confederacy was driven from here all the way down to this slaughter pit, where they were captured, well, not captured, but they were pinned in until they finally retreated all the way to Chattanooga. They, at this point right here, where we are right now, they lost 2,000 men. There is the monument that they set up here at McFaddens Farm. They call it McFaddens Crossing at that time. Now, let me tell you a little bit of something about the Stones River National Battle, or the Battle of Stones River. The Union called it the Battle of Murfreesboro. In September of 1861, President Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation. It laid on his desk for a couple of months. Because of the morale of the country, because of battles lost in Vicksburg and in Fredericksburg. He was waiting for the morale of the country to be a little higher before he announced the Emancipation Proclamation. And the Stones River battle provided him what he needed. It was a morale booster for the Union Army. Right after the Battle of the Stones River, he announced the Emancipation Proclamation. That was what the country needed. It was a moral victory as well as a slaughter. 24,645 people. Now I got some more notes. I'm going to look at them. I don't like cheating, but I'm going to look at them. 41,000 Union troops. 35,000 Confederate troops. 24,645 total casualties. That's dead. Another 14,000 wounded and 6,100 missing. Don't know what happened to them. Couldn't find their bodies. They may have run away. They may be dead and they just couldn't have found them. But the Confederates got pinned down in what's called the slaughter pen I was telling you about. I'll show you that here in just a few minutes. It's a rock outcropping in the southeast corner of Rutherford County. They couldn't move. They couldn't get out of it. They lost 2,000 men here alone trying to cross that river, or trying to keep the Union from crossing that river. All right, right now we are standing at one end of the slaughter pen loop. It's a half-mile loop. And I've already taken about, I don't know, maybe half of the trail. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna walk our way back in through here, and I'm gonna show y'all the slaughter pen. We're gonna look at a couple of strategic points of the battlefield. I don't know if you can see this right here, but it talks about the Confederacy being jumbled in this rock outcropping after they crossed the river at McFaddens Crossing. Like I said earlier, 2,000 men, 2,000 Confederates died at McFaddens Crossing. And it says here, it says, boys, you must get out of here, you're surrounded. And actually they were. They got themselves back in here. And you see all these rocks? You're gonna see that it was just impossible for them to get in here and get out. See the way these rocks, see the gullies in between them? Now I've got a metal left leg, so it's and I've got a failing right hip, so it's gonna be hard for me to get off in here and go walking through a lot of it, but I'm gonna try my best to show y'all what's going on in here without hurting myself. But I'm gonna try to get off in here a little bit and show you guys. There's a man-sized statue that they've, see him right there? Down in between them. And they were riding horses and pulling cannons. See the trees growing down in between them? And this rock outcropping stretches for quite a ways back through there. But they got pinned down in all this stuff. And then they got surrounded by the Union Army. And at this point, they were held down for a couple of days. And from here, it was Katie bar the door. Wagons were overturned. Cannons were crushed. Wheels broken. They just couldn't move. And they were like fish in a barrel. Ole'Pops here. We just got back from the Stones River National Battlefield, and I'm sitting here smoking my songwriter with one of my favorite blends, Lane 1Q and BCA, and it's about 54 degrees and it's fixing to sprinkle rain. We got us a nice little fire going here in the backyard at my brother's house again. We brought home a couple little pamphlets that I've seen 1,000 times. Remember as Boy Scouts, we used to go out there and hike the trails and camp. Like I told you, we put flags on the graves. We helped them build the split rail fences out there. It was one of our favorite places to go. We'd do community service work out there. Had a good time out there. A lot of fond memories of my dad out there. He'd take us to places like Chickamauga in Chattanooga. And I don't know how he pulled some of the strings he did, but he'd get us into the National Guard Armory at Chickamauga, and we'd get to watch Golden Glove fights and hike the Chickamauga trails after the next day. We had some good times, but the National Battlefield was a good time for us. Anyway, hope y'all like that little tour. I'd like to take this moment to introduce to y'all somebody I've known all my life, somebody I care a whole lot for. This is my brother. I mentioned to y'all the other day that I was in his backyard. That's where we are again. He goes by the screen name the Briardude, all one word, I think, isn't it?
I'm not sure yet. I'm 60 and computer illiterate and still trying to figure that out.
Well,
So,
I'm gonna give him a shout out. He's the one that made this for me. He's the one that got me into carving, and I just wanted to give him a shout out on my page and tell y'all to go visit his site and give him a sub. He carved this pipe here. Show him that one.
it's elephant foot, I guess, is the best that you could describe it. And I'm smoking our dreaded dessert menu in it, the 5-way combo that he's mentioned before, and
good
we'll do
stuff.
a review on.
Good stuff.
We're about to get rained on, I believe. It's been trying all day.
Yep. I've noticed a few sprinkles. But anyway, we took our favorite little munchkin with us, my little granddaughter, his niece. Her name's
Hiding
Abby.
behind the camera there.
Yeah, she's hiding behind the camera. She won't come out. She, you saw her in the video earlier, but she won't come out from behind the camera. Anyway, I'm Ole'Pops.